We've got our Chelsea back. We've got our Chelsea back. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel today. My name is the Crimson Wolf and welcome back to the Blue review for our Premier League game versus Southampton. And obviously, right off the bat, still ill, so don't particularly think I'm going to sound that great. But as for the game, just a whitewash really, wasn't it? We just destroyed them. And rightfully so, they were largely pretty bloody awful. This was to be expected, to be honest. I did predict 4-0 in the preview for this game. Obviously, it ended up being 5-1, so I got the goal difference right at least. Obviously, just a slightly better score, I would say. Scored one more. And we are up to second in the Premier League. And I have to say, that just feels so good. It feels so good to say that. So, 100% so happy with that. If you are new to the channel around here, allow me to give you a quick overview of what happens on the Blue review. Basically, I go through 8 points from the game, Lampard's famous 8, as I like to call it. I give him a card based on whether it was a good, mid or bad performance, those of course being blue, yellow and red. And then of course there is the gold card for the man of the match. This game, while it may not have been significant in terms of the level of opposition we played, it was very significant for two reasons. One, for the depth we have in our B team, which I really do appreciate, because obviously we made 6 substitutions from the game versus Villa. 6 different players started this game and we still played really well. And the other thing is, obviously, the fans finally coming around to Maresca, or at the very least, vocally. Obviously, chanting his name, chanting, obviously, what I was doing in the intro, saying, we've got our Chelsea back, 100% right, and I'm absolutely loving it. So, with that being said, I will get into the cards. And no red cards for this game. Just going to jump straight into the yellows. And the first yellow is for the defence. With this one, I think it's largely that our defense was good throughout the game, but that one moment, or first like 10 minutes, I should probably say, of the first half, I think we looked shaky. To start off, that goal was horrific. If you saw my live reactions to that on my YouTube channel when I was streaming my reactions to the game, you know I was not happy with that. And there are two prime suspects for it. First is Malo Gusto, who massively overcommits against a Southampton player. Tries to do his front foot defending thing, gets absolutely done, gets turned, and then he runs it to the byline. Enzo tries to make a challenge out of it, but doesn't do a particularly good job, and then Tosin's not watching the player, who runs into the box and puts it past Jorgensen. So I think it was just it was a silly goal to concede, really. Yeah, that was just a really stupid goal. Other than that, though, I think we did play really well. To talk about the defenders individually, I don't believe Gusto had a particularly good first half. I don't think he played particularly well. The second half, he was a lot better. I thought he was just a lot more improved. He was a lot calmer, a lot more confident, and obviously did get the assist for our final goal of the game. So it was a mixed bag from Gusto. Disasi obviously opened the scoring for this game with the goal, which is really good to see. Disasi is our best goal-scoring centre-back. He's the only one who can score headers consistently, since nobody else is clearly able to do it. So maybe it should be worth looking into playing him a bit more in the Premier League. Maybe that would be worth investigating. It's a good corner from Enzo as well, to be fair. And I don't think Disasi had a bad game either. I thought he played pretty well. So I thought that was probably... It was a decent game from Disasi. Tosin, as I mentioned, don't think he played particularly well around like the first 10-minute mark when we conceded that goal. I don't think he was really impacting the game the way he should have been. Again, a bit like Gusto, second half, a lot better. And then Cucurella, at the end of the day, was Marc Cucurella. What are you going to do? He was just the simple, reliable player he always is. I have also thrown Jorgensen in with the defence. I've done this before with Sanchez, but I'm throwing Jorgensen in here. And he does deserve a blue. And if I had not got so many things to talk about in this game, I would have given him a blue. He did have a really good performance. It's not his fault for the goal we conceded. As I predicted, he was let down by his defence. Other than that, he did have a really good game. He made some decent saves, and his distribution was really good. His distribution is just a level above Sanchez's. that is something that really needs to be taken into account by the manager. Jorgensen did have a good game, as I say. I would have given him a blue card, but I needed to talk about some other players in this game. So he is lumped in with this lot. He probably is what elevates it to a yellow and nothing less than that, really. Although, as I say that, the defence wasn't awful. It just was the first 10-15 minutes when Southampton were kind of getting at us a bit too freely, for my liking. So, other than that, I thought we played pretty well with the defence. So, it is just a yellow for this game. The second yellow does go to João Felix. And, again, I don't think Felix had his worst game. He was another one of those games where he had his moments of trickery, he had his moments of brilliance, when he was able to just bypass the midfield and the defence pretty easily. But then, once again, the problem with João Felix, he's not got the finish. And there was a couple moments where that was evident in this game. There was one early on when he gets the ball just outside the box, and he basically does a Mudryk and cuts in on his right foot and tries to bend it in the bottom corner. Didn't manage to get it, and obviously put it wide of the post. The other one, which is probably a little bit less forgivable, which is the header from the cross by Palmer, which he's completely unmarked for. It's not even a difficult header to be made, and it just goes wide. So I'm not happy with that at all. As I say, I think his overall game today was really good, but I think his finishing obviously does need improving. I think that's pretty much no secret of Felix. His biggest weakness is probably his finishing. So if he can sort that out on the training pitch, that'll be a lot better. Alright, moving into the blue card. Starting off with a blue card for Jadon Sancho. And honestly, while Jadon Sancho was not on the pitch for an extremely long amount of time, he is just here because he got his first goal for Chelsea, and that is just a really nice moment to see. It shuts a lot of United fans up, which I really, really appreciate. And obviously, he did really appreciate the goal. You could see what it meant to him, especially when he was tapping the badge and stuff like that, which is really nice to see. And as I say, he got his first goal. He was out on the right wing as well, which is not normally where we've seen him. It's only the second time this season we've actually played him there. Obviously, first being against Heidenheim when he got 2 assists. He just seems a lot happier with Chelsea than he ever was at Man United. I think maybe just because the pressure's not necessarily there, at the very least right now, I don't think it is. And he is just being played a lot better and being allowed to be a lot better. So I think he's just a lot happier. His overall contribution to the game isn't really there because he didn't play long enough. But for the goal and for what it meant to him, I have given him a blue. The second blue card goes to Christopher Nkunku. And once again, he gets another goal. He's our top scorer in all competitions, now bagging his 12th goal, which is obviously really nice to see. It's a pretty simple finish in the end of it. The goalkeeper makes an absolute howler with that pass out from the back, intercepted by Madueke. Plays it to Nkunku, who just rolls it in an empty net, really. So, it's a simple goal, but I think Nkunku's overall play in this game was really, really good. He does also get the assist for Cole Palmer's goal as well. Didn't know much about it. He was trying to shoot, and Palmer just made sure he got it home. I think Nkunku did have a good game. His pressing, while I don't think it's at the energy of Jackson's, it is good, and it's effective, and I think this game was something that needed that. What Nkunku does really well is he does put a lot of pressure on the goalkeeper, and in a game where Southampton like to play out from the back and from their goalkeeper, who is susceptible to mistakes, as we saw in this game, that is something you need. We've seen it when we played Barrow. Obviously, he created his third goal for his hat-trick all by himself, just wrestling the ball from the goalkeeper and stroking it into the net. I do really like what Nkunku brought to this game. I do think he was probably due a start in the Premier League. Obviously, he hasn't started a Premier League game since the first day of the season when we played Man City. So, I think he was due one, and he made the most of it. He went and scored a goal. He made sure that everybody knows that he is still there. He is still an option to play should we ever need a goal. And I think Nkunku had a decent game. The third blue card goes to Enzo Fernandez, and he is just on fire at the minute. He is just straight up in such good form. Probably the form of his career. And long may it continue, because he has been absolutely stellar in these games. Obviously, as I mentioned, he does get the assist for Disasi's goal from the corner. It's a pretty good corner as well. It's a well-taken set piece. Obviously, Enzo has struggled with his corner delivery in the past, and we even saw that at Aston Villa when he didn't take the best corner from his first one. But this was a pretty bloody good one. Lays it on a plate for Disasi, and we go 1-0 up. He obviously plays a fantastic through ball for Christopher Nkunku, who ends up getting it past the keeper for Cole Palmer's goal. And Enzo just largely in the attacking third. His link up with Palmer and his link up with players like Felix and Madueke and Caicedo is just really, really good. He is, as I've said before, the linchpin that makes our attack work, in my opinion. Without him, our attack is nowhere near as vicious. And that's why I believe he is such an important part of this team. An underratedly important part of this team as well. Because I was saying this for quite a while when Lavia was getting minutes in the team over him. Which is that he does bring the attacking quality. And we notice it's not there as much without him in the team. Obviously, he does have a bit of a awkward moment for the goal we conceded. I think it is more on the shoulders of Gusto and Tosin for that goal we conceded. But he does have a part to play in it when he doesn't really succeed in getting his challenge to stop it from reaching the Southampton player to score. So he is a bit at fault for that. I think it is a multiple parties at fault kind of goal. He did play a part in it, so it is worth mentioning. But I think his overall contribution to the rest of the game, to our attacking quality, more than justifies him getting a blue card. Next, with a blue card, we have Cole Palmer. And once again, he was Cole Palmer. Just doing what Cole Palmer does, really. Obviously, he gets the goal, the fourth goal of the game, the assist of Christopher Nkunku. It's a pretty simple goal. It's quite literally a tap-in that Nkunku and Enzo orchestrated themselves, and he was just in the right place at the right time to put it in. This wasn't one of Cole's more notable games when he was the dictator, the metronome, the one that controls everything that's going on the pitch. But it was one of those games where he did his job. He was his brilliant self and just got on with it, really. I don't mind that. In a game where you are largely expected to dominate and do dominate, it's alright if you don't have to just freaking shine like the brightest star in the sky every week. I don't mind that, as long as he just turns up in the bigger games, and we play Spurs this weekend, so that'll be the perfect test to see if he does do that. One thing I also do like with Palmer, and this is evident by the fact he was one of the players retained from our starting 11 versus Villa, he is very difficult to injure. And that is something we really, really need. As a team that has been ravished by injuries for the past 3 years, having your best player be someone who does not get injured basically at all is really, really appreciated. As I say, solid game from Palmer. Not a clinic of football or anything, but he did his job and that's what he needs to do. Now, for the gold card of this game, I've given it to Noni Madueke. Now, to be honest, I don't think anybody particularly shined brighter than anybody in this game. I think it was a very solid team performance. However, if I did have to pick out a man of the match, I'm going with Noni Madueke. Obviously, he is the man that gets our third goal for this game, and he was just the one that had the most chances in the game. He obviously does get the assist for Christopher Nkunku's goal as well, doing really well to read pass to the goalkeeper and intercept it from the Southampton player. So he does really well there, Madueke. And we're playing Spurs this weekend, a team notorious for playing a high line. I would imagine he will be in the manager's thoughts because obviously of how quick he is. He could be in a chance for an appearance against his old club. So very likely we see that come to fruition. But I think he was just really, really good in this game, Madueke. I thought he was the best player. I thought he probably was a bit unjustifiably taken off in the second half. Not really going to complain too much because you've taken off for Jadon Sancho and Sancho scored. So nothing really wrong with that. But yeah, Madueke, it was a solid game. For me, he was the man of the match. And yeah, hopefully he continues to get a couple more goals and a couple more assists under his belt. However, we do have one more blue card to give out, and it is for the man himself, Enzo Maresca. And this man is a genius. He is the saviour of Chelsea. He has brought us back from the absolute depths of the Premier League table. We've gone from finishing 12th under Graham Potter and Frank Lampard to 6th under Mauricio Pochettino to now sitting 2nd in the Premier League, 7 points behind the leaders Liverpool. That is unbelievably good. Genuinely, if you asked me at the beginning of the summer, would we be sat in 2nd by this point, I'd said, you're laughing. I would have said maybe top 4. I think that might have been possible. But 2nd? I would have thought you were laughing. And if you ask me now, would Mauricio Pochettino have had it as in 2nd? Should we have kept him? I'm also saying no. I don't think he would have been able to do this. Maresca has done some absolute miracles with this squad, and I hope it continues. He is a brilliant manager. He's finally gotten the love of the Chelsea fans. They were singing his name in the away end at St Mary's, singing his chants. Got the Seven Nation Army chant out for him, which I've been singing for about 3 months now. We got our Chelsea back chant, obviously, and it does just feel really, really good to see that and hear that. And now everybody is in full belief that Enzo Maresca is the man at Chelsea now, and he has done so good with this squad. So that was my review of our game versus Southampton. I hope you all very much enjoyed. Please leave your thoughts in the comments down below. I would really appreciate and love to hear them. Apologies if I do sound incredibly off. I'm in, unfortunately, that stage of this annoying cold, which I pray I will be over by the weekend, but I don't know at this point. So apologies for that. I also apologize as this is also another one of those shorter ones, but at the minute my illness just does not allow me to think properly, so I don't know if I'm the most cohesive in this video, so apologies for that in advance. But regardless of that, I'm going to sign off here by saying my name is the Crimson Wolf. I'm the reddest Chelsea fan on the internet, and thank you all very much for watching. You have all been amazing, and I will see you in the next one. Good luck with it.